On this edition of The State of Soy, Iowa Soybean Association CEO Kirk Leeds offers his take on issues impacting the state of soy. From biofuels misses and infrastructure decay to sequestering carbon and global sales opportunities for soy. More after this.
Hope. It's a hard thing to hold on to in the face of adversity. But it's where you belong. Keep moving forward. Prove to the world you have what it takes. So the next time you feel defeated, don't forget. That grit, that determination, it got you here. Remember, you were made for this.
Iowa Soybean Association CEO Kirk Leeds is optimistic by nature, but not even he forecasted the quick turnaround for soy in the face of a pandemic and the global economic malaise that accompanied it.
Coming out with the global trade disruptions that we had with China, particularly with the overall concerns about the impact of COVID on the global economy, I think most of us are surprised how good a shape we are at this point. But I think what it does is demonstrate the long-term growth opportunities for soybeans. At the end of the day, soybeans is the best source of protein in the world for any crop, for both livestock and human consumption, and global demand for protein is going to continue to increase. So we're going to continue to see very strong demand for the soybean crop, every bushel we can produce in the state.
Domestic markets matter too. Opportunity was squandered by this legislative session when momentum behind a biofuel standard proposed by Governor Kim Reynolds stalled. Opinions differ on the merits of a standard versus mandate and marketplace signal it would give.
We've got to continue to work with fuel retailers and customers and try to find some middle ground here so we can continue to increase the portion of fuel in the state that's made from renewable fuels like corn and soybeans.
Soybean farmers also rely on quality roads, bridges, rail, and waterways. America's infrastructure, once a competitive advantage for U.S. farmers, is aging into a liability. Structural fractures detected in a bridge spanning the Mississippi River near Memphis in early May created a backlog of nearly 800 barges in just a matter of days.
Mike Steenhoek, who's the executive director of the Soy Transportation Coalition, often says that we've got to move our country back to making investments, not just spending money. And investing in real infrastructure that will impact the movement of soybeans is an important one. I hope we can find a bipartisan solution to not only approve the funding, but also to figure out how to pay for it.
Farmers also have questions about a host of carbon sequestration programs. The Soil and Water Outcomes Fund, launched by the ISA, is helping soybean farmers learn more about these programs and how they can best benefit farmers.
What do we do with farmers that have been doing the right thing for a couple of decades and suddenly new funding streams appear and they want to reward new practices? How do you make sure that there's not a disincentive to do things that perhaps they stopped doing years and years ago? So these are a host of a lot of questions. Everybody seems to want to play in this marketplace. The reality is we have more questions than we have answers.
One topic not up for debate is the importance of exports for Iowa soybean farmers. And you cannot talk about exports without talking about China. Its recovery from African swine fever and economic growth have spurred a renewed appetite for soybeans and corn.
One of the upsides, if you will, of African swine fever in China will be the modernization of the facilities in China. Backdoor hog production will soon be a thing of the past in China as it is here in the United States. With that comes better not only disease protection, but increased demand for professional feed that's made based on soybeans. So I think the future for soybeans continues to be very, very strong. Yes, domestically, yes, globally, particularly China. They're about 60% of all global markets, but we're seeing some nice increases in other places in Asia and Southeast Asia, and some real growth in North Africa as well.